Okay, guys. Or questions in Trader Chat. Hugh's going to filter through those. I know there's going to be a bunch that roll in. We're going to try to do this within 30 to 45 minutes. And some of you may be amazed that we're only doing it for such a short period of time. What I'm going to show you guys is probably it's probably the simplest type of trade out there, outside of a day trade or playing, as I do, primarily a catalyst play on news, headline, or we play it into a catalyst because we have an event in a few weeks, or we're playing a run up. This is probably the most elementary type of trade, and you'll see traders out there in the FinTwit universe claim, that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. They know everything. They're, oh my God, how do they do this? They caught the bottom, blah blah blah. What I'm going to show you is basically the manipulation that goes into this type of trade. And the goal of this lesson is for you guys literally to tune out all the bullshit that you see on Twitter, stock twits, and whatever kind of social media platform. So in essence, you're going to anticipate these moves before they happen. And when those pumps come in, and I call them artificial pumps. Again, they're pumps based on nothing. There's no catalyst. There's no news headlines. There's literally nothing. But you're going to be able to see these and understand why they work the way they do, and how these trades, in essence, get manipulated by these people out on Twitter who, again, as I use the phrase, they're the greatest. No one's better than them. Blah 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 blah. It's all bullshit, guys. It's smoke and mirrors. And again, it's an easy way to make money. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, we're doing this to make money. And I think that's what you guys have to understand is it's how to be not necessarily first. You want to ride a wave. And you're never going to get the bottom of a trade. You're never going to get the top. What you're going to ride is the middle part of the wave. You're going to sell, and you're going to move on. You're going to book your profits. You're going to move on to the next one. And that's more or less the strategy to this. So if you go into, PJ was kind enough to set up a channel tonight, and it's called IncredibleBob EDU. I posted a couple of links in there to start. And then what I'll do is I took some screenshots of some charts, and we'll try to kind of relate it a little bit to what I'm seeing. And what these are these are some of the investment banks or the book runners that do offerings. You have Lake Street Capital, you have Wainwright, that's the second one, Aegis, Oppenheimer. And basically, anytime you see an offering, you have one of two things to do. You can write it down in your notepad if you keep a journal to track these things. You can look at post secondary offerings. You can do a search on NASDAQ. You can look up, I think Fidelity has a list of them. Or you can just kind of bookmark these and work off of these lists. And what we're trying to do is when you click on them, and Wainwright's notorious, HCW, the one that's the second one, hcwco.com transactions. They are the one of the shadiest firms out there, but they are also really, really good about running after they do an offering for company XYZ, and the stock price shits the bed, and as it should. And they're notorious for, about 80% of the time, they can really run that price back well above and beyond the offering. And so you really have to kind of to gauge and see, what's out there to understand, basically, what opportunities lie in front of you. So let me click on this and take a really fast screenshot. And I'll kind of give you, because I know not everyone's going to be able to navigate through it the way that I do. And so basically, you guys will be blown away when I do this. So this is Wainwright right here. And I'm going to post up the picture of their website. And so what this is, all these little tiles that you see on the picture I posted, this is offerings that Wainwright has done to current. And so when you blow it up, if you click on it, that picture, these are biotechs. They could be, I don't know, like I'm making stuff up here, battery companies, solar companies, whatever. And these are literally everything that they've done. They're a big book runner, and they make a lot of money. Again, they're to me, they're kind of a sleaze house. They're not the most reputable out there, but they are really good with the penny stocks. And so, for example, you go down the list, you see like there's Wave. They did a follow-on offering for 100 million. That's the third row towards the right. You can see the most recent one is Enlivix. They did a 25 million ATM at the market offering. So, as I mentioned, you want to kind of keep a list, but what you can also do is just kind of reference, a website like Wainwright, and you want to look for these like a failed, bottomed out charts. And so let me pull one up for you guys real quick. All right, so here's one recently, and I know there was a big pump behind this one. And this is NAOV. So NAOV had a couple of offerings. And so it follows, if you look at the chart, and then if you want to click on that NAOV chart that I just posted, then you want to blow it up. See, like in the September time range, you see how it's just kind of flat and just slowly declining. And then you get to this point, like let's say, I can't see the real date on it. Let's say it's like September 10th. And you look at September 10th through basically September 20th, that little 10-day period, just kind of bottomed out, man. It's dead. And they had done an offering. See that gap down in August? I think that was like one of the first offerings they did. And see how it just kind of shit the bed after the offering? And so what NAOV does is it just kind of sits here, and then boom, Wainwright will run it, or there's a news event, or you'll get, as I call, the artificial pump. And I know there's a pretty decent artificial pump out there on NAOV. So the question then comes is, well, how do you know, and how do you read into, and this is kind of the meat of the education tonight, is how do we, we find these charts, post-offering charts, and how do we determine when they're being front-loaded? Well, let me kind of give it to you guys and kind of as clear as possible. What happens is people forget about these. They abandon them. There's everyone sells. They don't want to hold this anymore. They want to hold the bag. They're worried it's going to keep going down, and people forget about them. What happens is you get a couple of pumpers out there, and they're notorious for doing this. And what they do is they work with anywhere between 3 and 5 individual accounts. And what they start doing is, I always preach about level 2, and everyone's like, hey, can you teach us how to look at level 2? What's important about level 2? What do you see in level 2? Well, the things that I look for in level 2 are loading. That's what I kind of catch my eye. Sometimes it's abnormal volume against like a 10-day average, that it hasn't really moved the share price up that much. That's accumulation. The other stuff that I look for is I like to look throughout the day, and you can use this on a 1-minute, 5-minute chart, whatever. I like to see when they start pegging 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 buys, and they try to keep them under scanners, like under the radar off of a scanner. What that pumper is doing, or that person or tandem of people who are going to pump it, what they want to then do is they're accumulating on their accounts. Remember, they have 3 to 5 accounts. And so they're using, if they have 3 accounts, they're using 2 of them to accumulate these shares. 10-day period again on NAOV, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. But they have that third account that they haven't really done much with. And then what they'll do is say, hey, I'm the first person on this, and I'm, whatever, pound my chest. I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, and this thing's going to move today. And so, of course, on that third account, they buy it, they announce it, and they say, oh, look at my buys. Look at my timestamps on my buys. But what they're not telling their chat room is on their other 1 to 2 accounts, they've already preloaded their sells on those 1 to 2 accounts. And let's say they bought like 50,000 shares in each of those accounts. So they're sitting on 100,000 shares. And they'll call the alert and use their third account as the alert account. That, hey, I'm telling you right now, I'm buying it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All right. So what these guys do again is they have like 3 to 5 accounts. They're gonna front load over those first few days, and you have to look for the $5,000, $10,000, and $15,000 increment buys. That's what I look for on level 2 on these bottomed out post offering plays. Because what I know, when I see that type of volume hit on those plays, and my scanner will pick a lot of this stuff up too, but when I see those type of volume hits on my That alerts me that there's a pump coming. And so what I'll start doing is I start kind of tagging in small ones too. And I don't put these type of trades in the chat room. I won't do that. To me, because what I'm trying to do is catch them on the pump. So you'll never see me alert a trade like this. But what happens is I see that person or random whatever person on Twitter pump it, and it's kind of cool because it's like, hey, I saw it. I predicted the move. I knew this was going to happen. In the meantime, I've loaded 100,000 shares of the stock, 150, 200,000 shares, and I'll just unload it on them. And they'll start screaming, "Oh my God, there's a short! It's attacking this trade." Blah blah blah. No, dumb fucks. I just unloaded 150, 250,000 shares on you, dude. I'm not looking to make a ton of money. I'm trying to bust the move on them. It's fun for me to do it. Again, I do this. I don't need to do this. I'm retired many times over. This is just more fun for me to bust their trades. It's utterly hysterical, but it's truly like one of the easiest things to do out there and see. So again, look for these bottomed out trades, look for post offerings, bottomed out, and then start looking for those random 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 share hits, over a time period. You got to have the level 2 up. You got to be in front of your screen. You got to be able to see it. And I can promise you each and every time they're being loaded for an artificial pump. There's no question 90% of the time. Yeah. And then sometimes, sure, do they have a news event tied to them because there's a random PR? Oh yeah, 100% absolutely. It's not that person or persons predicted the move. They got fucking lucky. That's all it is. But this is a game. It's just trying to understand. It's a game of chess. You're trying to guess your opponent's move. This is all it is. It's not, if you're not playing a true catalyst, or you're not trying to play a run up into a catalyst, into like a biotech data. If it's not a sympathy play because EVs or batteries or solars are going, these are just straight up. They're straight up pumps. They're not legal. It happens all the time. Our job is to catch it, ride the wave. You're not guessing the top or a bottom. Exit the trade for a decent profit and move on to find the next one. It's as simple as that. No one's brilliant. No one has an IQ of 150, and doing retail trading on penny stocks. I can promise you that's not the case. They'd be working for, a major hedge fund and not communicating with people like ourselves. So that's kind of, and I hope this came through. I apologize if it didn't. Maybe we can set up something on like a YouTube, or I can work with Dip, Hugh and PJ on doing something like that. But let's take some questions. Like I'll post another. Let me see if I have another chart to post. I kind of did. I know Dare is one that you guys know I'm in for a swing into a catalyst, but Dare fits the bill from a post offering. Wainwright did their offering. So let me post the Dare chart for you guys real quick, so you can see. Again, it doesn't always have to be a pure on the bottom chart, but here's Dare. And if you blow this chart up, you can see it's running the lower trend line. I don't always like what FinViz draws as trend lines. It's their opinion and not mine. But you can see it's kind of bottomed out. We know we have a catalyst coming up. We know they did a post secondary offering. It's not as pure as some of the other junkers like NAOV that ran for no apparent reason, or TLGT that ran for no apparent reason, other than they were just pure pumps and that's it. This is the stuff, guys, that let's pull up TLGT real quick, because this defines what a pump is right here, an artificial pump. So here's TLGT's chart. Blow it up. You can see this, guy's dead bottom, dead bottom, dead bottom. I will tell you, about 3 days prior to the big pump on Twitter that took it up, it was hitting my accumulation scanner. I was watching it, and to be pointedly honest, I forgot about it. And because it was over the weekend, it hit like on Thursday or Friday on my scanner. That person or those people were acquiring 10,000 and 20,000 share lots of it Thursday and Friday, I think, of the prior week, or a few days, and then they hit the pump on it. But again, that's the beauty of an accumulation scanner, and the ability also to watch level 2. So when you guys ask me, when I say Toto, my accumulation scanner, Toto will ping a whole bunch of stuff. And I look for it. And if it pings these dead bottom charts like TLGT, and I put it up on level 2 and I watch level 2, and I'll watch it all day. I'll watch it 2 days, 3 days. It doesn't matter. And I start seeing those random 5,000, 10,000 share buy-ins. I know a pump is coming. There's no question in my mind that a pump is coming. And it's not that someone's a savant and they're like Rain Man and they can, read cards and whatever. No, they're the ones that are doing the preload pump. That's all it is. They're not brilliant. It's again, it's illegal. It's against SEC regs. If they get caught, they're fucked beyond any fucking belief. You're not, there's no material event or catalyst or upcoming data that would move the stock other than it's artificial. And so again, our job is, obviously not to do things like that. That's, the wrong way of doing it. Our job is to catch these types of moves, to ride the waves. It's not about hitting the bottom, catching the bottom and saying, "Oh, look at this! I caught the to the penny. I'm the one who predicted the move." No, you are the move. You pumped it. And it's not about catching the top because no one has a crystal ball to catch the top. Because if we had a crystal ball, we'd play the lottery and we'd be done and not do this shit. Our job is to ride the wave. Take the profit, move on to the next. This is the most rudimentary, basic, kind of like pre-algebra type of trading out there that there is. It's not sophisticated at all. It's more manipulative than anything else. But hey, we're traders. We take advantage of it when we see it. I just won't normally call these out in the room because it's just I want to teach you guys how to do it the right way and not the wrong way. And that's basically, from a lesson standpoint, that's kind of what I wanted to bring to your attention tonight. So let's jump to Trader Chat. All right. James LaFave, what do you guys personally look for when overnighting plays? Volume from the day. I want to kind of stay on topic, guys. I know you guys have a bunch of questions about other stuff, but let's stay on topic tonight as best as we can.
Do you see PJ's
Okay,
message?
this is a good question. Super villain. What lot size range do you watch for accumulation plays? How can you identify they're not looking to short it? Okay, so that's an excellent question, Super villain. So first and foremost, as I mentioned, these people are buying with multiple accounts. And what I look for, if it hits my accumulation scanner and it's a random outlier, then I start pulled. I have a single L2 on that individual ticker up, and I watch it. It's on my screen, and I look for anywhere between like 5 to 20,000 share increment buys throughout the day. Okay. So which one do I think pumps more, Maxim or Wainwright? Wainwright, hands down. HC Wainwright, scuzzbags, but can pump a stock. But again, guys, remember, it's one thing to have a catalyst and to have a run up. That those are the purest form of swing trades that are out there. Never lose sight of the value behind that type of trade. What I'm showing you is like TLGT, NAOV, shit, all these random tickers that just went up like 400 or 500%. Understand that some of them were sympathy to the market, whatever the sector was running, but a lot of them also are they're being preloaded post offering because that said person has multiple accounts and they're using those multiple accounts to buy small incremental lots. 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, just enough to get out there where it may or may not hit my scanner. Sometimes it does. That's why I watch them. And they'll do this over a few days. And then they say, oh my God, I'm going to buy it at here, XYZ, 0.61. And oh my God, I caught the bottom because in their third or fourth account, they bought a bunch of shares at 0.61. But that doesn't show the other shares that they purchased the prior days in their two other accounts. And they've taken those purchases and they've put those sell orders in advance of them calling their alert out to FinTwit. Those people then buy into those alerts. Now, the one account that they alerted with, they're still holding those shares. But if it slips, they've sold, let's say 30, 40, 50, 60% of those shares in those other two accounts. And if it slips, 20% on the downside because it gets shorted, they still come out smelling like roses. Because even if they're the one account where they bought in at 0.61, they still made money on the other. So they come out scotch-free, but everyone else is holding the bag. That's how the game works on these artificial volume moves. Completely manipulated, completely illegal. The SEC would, eviscerate them completely from the face of the planet if they got caught. And so our job, again, is not to do that because that's illegal. We don't do that. What we're trying to do is anticipate the move. And so when my accumulation scanner picks up that shit, I will pull up a level 2 on that chart, and I try to identify those lot purchases. And usually 85% of the time I'm correct because that pump's going to hit within a few days. It's just eyeballing, and predicting the move. And it's not really predicting. It's just, this is a skill set that you learn over time. But this is truly the simplest type of trade that's out there. You just have to know how to do it. All right. How are you able to accumulate without the pumper seeing you purchase large lot size? Do you buy? Yeah. So good question. Oh, I'll buy in,
That's an amazing question. Yeah, it's a great
question. Is. So if I see that shit going on, I'll just start scaling in 2,500 shares here, 5,000 shares here, where it's innocuous. It doesn't really do much, doesn't do anything to the price. And then eventually when they start doing it, when they call their pump, I'll unload whatever I have. Hopefully it's over 100,000 shares, and I'll just dump the move on them backwards. My goal is to make money on those.
They are adding usually larger sizes, and you can see them accumulating over a period of time.
Yeah.
And your 2,500 shares, 5,000 shares isn't gonna do shit. They're not gonna. Nope. They're just gonna be like, oh, maybe someone added with me. That's not gonna
exactly, or it's an algorithm ad, and I'll do that throughout the day. I'll just continually hit them throughout the and just build and build and build and build that position because I know it's coming. It always comes. At least 85% of the time it comes. And if it doesn't, guess what? Then I'm holding some shares and I'll slowly scale out of them. But again, I don't call that shit in the chat room. That's not the type of trade that I want you guys to learn. That's it's inappropriate. Again, it's a strategy, and you should have many tools in your bag. But I want to teach you guys the right way to do things, which are catalyst plays, which are swing plays, which are day trades on headlines. That's the right thing. It's playing, stocks, that we've done throughout the year. That's the right way to do it. That's the way you're going to survive long term. This is a short-ended game that these people are playing. It doesn't ever end well. But again, our job is not to do that. It's to ride their wave and get out before the game of musical chairs ends. All right.
Hell yeah.
You do have to watch L2. You guys, you really have to watch L2. And here's the thing, guys. If you don't, because you have a job, or you have to run out and pick up your kids, or you got to go fucking get a sandwich at lunch, and you can't watch L2, there is a thing called time and sales. And you can literally pull up the entire day's worth of time and sales and go through the entire list on your screen if you have that capability, if your broker has it. Most do. And you could just thumb through, and just at the end of the day, in the evening, and say, holy shit, I see it now. There's a 10, there's a 20. Why the fuck are these there? They don't even make sense. That's accumulation. That's front loading going on. Yes, sometimes it's in, someone has a news event that they're playing into that, obviously we don't have foresight into seeing, but for the most part, there's a pump coming.
Yeah, of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me see what other question.
And you can see it in the volume on the chart as well. If you just have a volume on your chart and you go look at some of these charts, and it's like nothing, 500 shares here and there, kind of nothing. Then all of a sudden you see 1,000, few minutes another 1,000, few minutes another. Then it's like 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. It's like somebody's fucking adding this.
Yeah. Or why at 12:47 p.m. was there a 20,000 share buy, and the rest of the day it was like these little 1 and 200 share lots?
Yeah,
that piques my interest.
Right.
Something's going on. And then the thing is, it's like we talked about tonight. Was there an offering, and how long ago was it? Ooh, we might have a story here. See, we're just connecting the dots. We're predicting the move that individual person is going to make. It's a game of chess. And then it's your responsibility as a trader not to ask me, and not to ask PJ, not to ask Zach, not to ask Brad when to sell. Guys, that's your decision, and your decision alone. And that's really what it comes down to. Ride the wave. There's no right or wrong in selling. If you're booking profit, then great, book the profit. Don't hindsight. Don't get upset. Understand that if you're not going to play a tried and true strategy. Excuse me, I can't talk tonight. Like swing trading, like playing into a catalyst, like playing into a run up, and you're trying to predict these pump moves. Take the profit. Take 5. Take 10%. You know what? You saw it. You predicted it. You'll fine tune it over time to get better and better. don't
literally free money. Take the fucking money.
It's free money. It's cushion for your day. It's an extra, a couple $1,000. Walk in and walk out. Boom, done. See ya. You know what? That's success. That you can't go. You do that a few times a week. Oh my God, your trading account will be humming by the end of the year. There's no question. All right. Let's see what else we got. How would you differentiate a pump buy order versus, say, a company director? That's a good question. So unless it's an open market order, those director buys are usually they're done differently. You're not going to see them as an open market order.
Oh, there is one thing I wanted to say real quick that
yeah,
it's interesting too. Like if you suspect someone's adding, and let's say usually on these the spread is going to be a little crazier. It's going to be a wider spread. Let's say it's at 250 and 270. Okay, and the guy that you think is buying, someone's hitting it. I buy some shares that low share, couple hundred shares. And then I'll put an ask up. I'll just put an offer on and see if I bring it down, that guy's going to hit it because he wants more shares cheaper, right?
Exactly.
So I'll bring it down and see what he does. And then, I kind of play with him like fishing, and I'll just throw it down and see like, all right, what are you going to do? And if he hits me, then I'm like, all right, I'll try one more time. Boom. I'm like, okay, for sure someone's loading this. They're trying to catch every share at this price. So basically that's why we're saying it's free money, because this guy is going to keep fucking adding. It's not going to drop. The thing's not, unless he dumps his shares, it's not going to drop. So I just wanted to add that tidbit.
No, that's huge, and I appreciate it. And guys, understand this. This strategy that PJ and I talk about only works.
It's a psychology game.
It's a psychology game. Yeah. But it also only works if you can't do what PJ's doing unless you're above pattern day trading. Yeah. So don't do that if you're not above pattern day trading. That's a key thing. Otherwise, stick to the swing trade stuff. Don't get your feathers ruffled that, oh my God, this stock went up and I didn't have any day trades left and it went up 500%. Guys, you're going to FOMO yourself out. Don't do that. Stick with the tried and true methods that we teach you, which is swing trade into a catalyst, swing trade into an event. Play, if you have a day trade, play the headline that usually we try to catch early in the morning. This other stuff, if I see it, I'm going to start posting it more and more. I'll take a screenshot so you guys see it. But just be aware. Look again. Go to those links to those websites that I sent you, specifically Wainwright, Aegis, whatever. Look at the charts. Go in there and say, okay, which companies did they do recent offerings over the last 3 to 5 months? Look at the chart. Where's the chart against the offering? If the offering was at 95 cents and the stock is at 55 cents and it's been dead bottom at 55 cents for a few weeks, okay, great. Kind of pull that up on level 2 and then start watching those random, larger volume hits that they're trying to slide in under the radar, because 8 times out of 10, there's a pump that's coming. And that's it's truly an easy, rudimentary kind of play. And like PJ said, you stick and you move, you book the profit and you move on to the next one. It's cash flow and just, you know what? Cool, great, move on. You saw their pump before they pumped it. And right. That's the goal of this entire little session tonight that I've been talking about. This is it. You're just catching them before they did it. And they're not God's gift to the earth. They're not the smartest human being on the planet. Dude, they're pumping a stock that they've front loaded. That's all it is. And you were smart enough to see it. You caught it. You sold into it. Move on.
We literally catch guys doing it all the fucking time.
All the time.
But another thing, when you try to start doing this and you try to buy some shares, it's easy to get shaken out too, because you'll see the spread go crazy and you bought it. Let's say it's the spread like $1 stock and it's 1 at 120 and you bought some at 120. Well, if you sell, you just lost 20%. So, because you're going to hit the bid. And so you've got to be like, kind of, don't not going heavy and knowing like it just kind of takes a little bit of learning, but really there's not like you'll pick it up pretty quickly, but just not going heavy and just kind of learning it is what I recommend first.
Yeah, and guys, sometimes when you'll see on the trading floor, when we say like FL Miami, FL Tampa, whatever, Jacksonville, those are front loads. That's not the front load that I'm talking about. That's totally different. We're seeing heavy volume that's coming in on a certain issue. That's not this type of situation. This is much more methodical that the pumper is trying to manipulate. And then usually if we see that FL, that might be them alerting to their chat. But at that point, they've already set their sells.
They've already done it, yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing you don't want to do is slam into it, because all you're doing is if they had 3 accounts, you're liquidating their other 2 accounts. They're coming out smelling like roses. And so if that third account that they bought with, on the alert slips, no harm, no foul to them. They'll fuck their chat, but not themselves. And so again, they're not, those types of people aren't ethical. Trading in general, I think, isn't ethical to begin with. But it's truly a chess match. But just don't get caught holding the bag on that crap. That's just, it's not worth it. I'll do a better job of trying to identify it when I see it, and so hopefully you guys can better understand it. But use level 2, use those links, look for the bottomed out post secondary offerings that really haven't gone anywhere, and then just observe. That's the best thing. And if you can't observe during the day, like PJ said, look at the 5-minute chart. That's a great indicator. Look at a 1-minute chart. Where were the random weird spikes throughout the day? Why was someone buying 15 to 20,000 shares on a stock that traded 55,000 total shares in the entire day? Oh shit, they did a post-secondary offering 30 months ago. Whoa, what the fuck's going on here? Someone's going to play a game. Now you're seeing the game before it gets called out.
Right. Then you look at the volume the day before and the day before, and you're like, whoa, the volume's like fucking tripled.
Yeah.
And you might see a random volume spike on something here and there, but if you look at one and it's random, then that randomness stops being random. It's like, whoa, yesterday there was only one small spike. Today there's 15. Something's up. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, well, I'll try to, when I see them, I'll let you guys know. But I will stress, it does not mean to buy. Please do not slam and hit the ass. Do not do that. It is strictly for education only. Do not be that person. Then I get 10 DMs going, what do I do? Who's told you to buy it? There was no educational alert around it other than we're trying to show you what we see. That's all it is. I'm not buying it. So no one else should. Don't do that. Don't do that. We'll let you know.
99%.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, I hope this helped. I know there were still a lot of questions, and I apologize for the choppy audio. I think what we'll try to do is circle this back and maybe YouTube record it, me, PJ, Hugh, a couple other people, and we'll talk about it. And that way you guys have open access to a YouTube recording of this. But I wanted, the opportunity, as I saw a lot of these go off in the last 7 days, I wanted to get this in front of you guys as quick as possible, because I felt that there was, a good opportunity to educate you all, and one, more or less, to protect you guys more than anything else. And that's, at the end of the day, my goal is to help you protect your capital, and I don't want you guys to get caught in one of these situations, because once these flush, they flush, and you're gonna have to take a nasty loss to get out of them, because there's no material event for any near future that's going to get the share price back up to get you out of those situations. So again, I use the phrase musical chairs. You never want to be the kid when the music stops without a chair, because you're out of the game. And so this is why I stress it's a great strategy. It's very rudimentary, very elementary way to trade. It is completely illegal for the people that are manipulating the price action like that. But more importantly, I do not want you guys getting caught and holding it back, because we've all been there. I didn't have the opportunity for people to teach me in this way to not get burned a long time ago. So hopefully I'm bringing some value, and feel free again to ask questions. My DM's open. I try to get to as many of you guys as possible. Sometimes it's overwhelming. But like I said, we're going to record this again in the future, because I think there's a huge amount of need behind this. And we're going to help you guys build your knowledge book, and to make you guys better traders. So That's all I got.
Man.
PJ, you got anything else?
The only thing I'll say is like you said, somebody is going to be left holding this bag, because in trading, one thing most people don't understand, I think, is when you make money trading, it is only because someone else has lost that money. It doesn't come out of thin air. The money has to come from somewhere. So somebody's holding the bag. Don't let it be you is the thing, So yeah, that's really what I had to say.
No, and I appreciate that. Yeah, that's it. Not all trades work out, guys. We know that. I would love to say 100% of my trades work. We know that. We try to get as many to work as as possible from that we see. When we see the front loads come in, we or there's a sympathy because it's a sector move. If there's a headline in the news, look, not every headline play works. We think it's a great headline. The body of the paragraph reads well, but the market thinks differently. You play what's in front of you. But again, I want to try to protect you guys from the artificial stuff. That's the most dangerous type of trade, again, that's out there, because there's no near-term catalyst, press release event, anything that's going to turn that stock around. You might be sitting on dead money for 12 months. And that's not where you want to be. You want to avoid the guys out there that do this habitually on FinTwit. They're not good people. And I'm going to leave it at that. They're just really not good people. They're out for themselves. And as PJ said, someone has to hold, we've said it all night, they have to hold the bag. It's not a bank that's losing the money at the end of the day.
No.
It's another retail trader.
It's fucking you. It's people.
It's you. Yeah. So don't let it be you. Don't look yourself in the mirror and say, oh shit, it's me. So that's it. So that's all I got tonight, guys. I wanted to try to keep it under 45 minutes. And again, apologize for the audio. And we will see you guys bright and early in the fun pits tomorrow, and hopefully we have a solid week. And as Ricky Bobby has stated, we're rolling into the election, so we will trade aggressively, but we will trade with caution over the next few days.
You're the man.
All right, brother. Go enjoy some family time. Thank you for jumping out of your dinner to hop on and resolve the technical difficulties.
Atlas is life.
Atlas is life, and we crashed Discord tonight. Can't beat that.
Damn. I don't think we'll crash YouTube though. So next time we'll be better prepared.
You got it. All right, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy your evenings, and we will powwow tomorrow morning. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Take care.